that going?
It is. I don't think I need to be doing it soon.
You made quite a big fuss about pressing the record button there, Richard.
It's a big deal.
Good work. Liked it.
Hello and welcome to the D20 Future Show. I'm, as always, your host and GM Richard. But this is not a normal episode. This is one of our famous, or at least we've had at least two of them, Intrasodes. So I am joined by our friend Adam. That's the worst intro ever.
That was horrendous. Thank you, Richard. We'll use that. That'll do.
I'm joined by...
No, that'll do. No, that'll do, Richard.
I have a way of introducing people on Intrasodes, and it goes like this.
You can say friend, and that's it. You gave Alex a really good intro. Great physicist, nuclear physicist. He's great. Adam, just Adam. It's fine.
And we're joined by the only accountant I know. And we're joined by the only... Yeah, that is actually true, but I was trying to give you more.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
And we're joined by the only accountant I know who also volunteers for the Salvation Army. It's Adam.
That's true.
So welcome, Adam, to the D20 Future Show Intrasode. I have brought you on because you're part of the cast of the show. Hopefully you know that.
I'm aware.
Good. If that had come as a surprise, this would have been an awkward conversation. And I just wanted to ask you just a little bit about your history with RPGs and then a little bit about the D20 Future Show and what it's like being a part of it. So, first of all, what was the first role-playing game of any kind that you played?
I suppose I would have started with computer games. I'm relatively young. I'm younger than all the other chaps, including yourself, Richard.
Yes, because I'm an old man.
You're very old. The first one I properly got into, I suppose, would have been Skyrim. I probably played other ones before that, but the first one I properly got my teeth into and really enjoyed would have been Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
All right. You played Skyrim. What class did you play when you played Skyrim?
Well, I was a wood elf.
Right.
I was a wood elf, partly because I love Lord of the Rings and, more importantly, Orlando Bloom, Legolas.
Okay.
And I enjoy his performance very much. So I played an elf, archer, sneaky.
Yep.
I think that's what everyone ends up being when they play Skyrim, because it's just easy and fun.
All right.
Sneak up behind someone and just shoot them in the back of the head.
Shoot them in the back of the head. All right.
Job done.
And have you ever done the naked Arl punching challenge?
No, I haven't. I'm not even aware of that.
Okay, you should check out on Outside Xbox. They have an episode where they have a let's play where you have to strip down naked in the opening area of the game where you meet the Arl and punch him in the face and then run away and see how far you can get before the townspeople take you down.
Right.
That's a fun little challenge the next time you pick up Skyrim.
But, okay, that's interesting. I'll give it a go.
Okay.
All right, I've never even heard of that. I'll give it a go.
Well, there you go. That's your future is naked Arl punching.
What a future that is.
All right. So you progressed from computer game role-playing games to tabletop role-playing. What made you first want to do that?
First thing probably would have been watching Big Bang Theory, actually.
Okay.
And watching the guys on there playing it. And I thought, that was fun, a bit of fun. So.
Started to pick up a copy of D20 Modern, which had been sort of sitting on my shelves after a fit of enthusiasm resulted in me buying it, and not a lot else.
Right.
I finally had picked it off the shelf and started reading it and thought, I could make this work, and kind of ideas had started to bubble. And then you kind of said you were up for it, and I started to ask around. A friend at church said they might be up for it, and we gathered another friend. And yeah, and then the D20 Future Show began. And somewhere along that line, we both separately discovered D&D is for nerds.
Yes, we did.
How did you come across D&D is for nerds?
You showed it to me.
Right,
You said we did it separately, I just agreed with you.
Oh,
no.
right.
You said, but Adam, you should try this, it's fun.
All right, okay,
Yes.
right. Yeah.
I just agreed with you there without...
I found it. Mr. Sunday Movies from the Weekly Planet mentioned that he had been involved in a D&D is for nerds special one-off, and I was stuck in a factory for a long time doing some very boring trials, and I started to download it and very much got into it. So we both discovered the joys of Criff Pum Pum Criff and Jiggalump. Oh, we miss Jiggalump. I think it's canon that Jiggalump died, you know, which is...
I think it is, yeah.
Which is very
He
sad.
shot himself in the foot there, I think.
If listener given that we presume there's at least one out there, you have not come across D&Ds for Nerds, then stop wasting your time with our podcast and listen to that from the beginning, because
I'll just listen to both.
Listen to both. Yeah, no, don't stop listening to it. I mean, just keep subscribing, and that way, I assume future millions will arrive. But do download D&D is for Nerds. It's a spectacular Dungeons and Dragons, I think 3.5 edition podcast from Sanspants Radio, and we love it. And it is very much our ambition to get Adam from D&D's for Nerds to appear as a guest star on the D20 Future Show. But that remains very much an ambition.
They're in Manchester in like 4 months.
They are in Manchester in 4 months, but we didn't get tickets to the show, so we will not meet there and instantly click. But we're kind of excited. So you came knowing not a huge amount, I guess, about tabletop roleplay, but I suppose none of us really did, but I just pretended like I did.
You did well in pretending.
I did well in pretending. Yeah. I'm very good at that. That's why I'm the GM. You, through, I guess, more luck than judgment, kind of fell in love with your character, who was John Hawkeye Hawk.
He was like my baby. He really was.
He was sort of your avatar in this world. He very much expressed your desire to not get shot ever.
I think that's just a desire of me in general, though.
Not a wholly unreasonable one. Yes. Yeah. So tell us about John Hawk then, and what it was like to be him.
He was a character that I very much just allowed myself to very literally jump into his shoes. And just sort of, because I had basically instructed you, give or take, with a bit of leeway, how to make me a character. You've just been like, I've just basically built Adam here. You've called him John, but it's just basically Adam.
I think he was about your height and ginger as well, wasn't he? I think he was. Didn't try very hard to disguise that it was you.
So I was just obviously a bit more athletic and a bit better at most things, but just as intelligent as me, as in not at all.
Well, he lent towards the silly.
Yes, which played into my hands very nicely. So I would always just think, literally, what would I do? Well, bearing in mind that I'm more athletic and able to take a punch, and was impossible to hit.
Yes.
Bear in mind as well, I could do anything and not be hit.
You had a silly dex, yes. So, you had a silly dex that meant a silly to hit bonus.
It was so good. So I just had fun. I just basically did what I wanted and made Richard's life hell for 2 hours.
And what happened to the bow?
The bow.
Because one of my biggest disappointments was that you never, ever, ever used the bow.
You know, I had no idea how disappointed I was when I found out how rubbish it was. Even in a sneaky situation, it probably was better just to shoot a guy in the face with my rifle or whatever.
Well, I'm not responsible for the weapon stats as laid out in the book. Well, I think I particularly at the time, I think I played with the stats less than perhaps I would have done. But I couldn't give you a machine bow. That's not how it works. You had a bow, and there were a couple of occasions you were given where sneaking was an option that you didn't necessarily take.
No.
And then, once you'd fired two arrows, you then proceeded to go and get them and be concerned that you were going to run out of arrows, which I thought was incredible. You had 10 more in your quiver, and you're like, no, I'm not using them.
Oh, right.
I might run out. And that was it. That was the whole hurrah for the bow.
I think it was worth it. I think it was worth it.
Well, it fulfilled your desire to be a sci-fi soldier with a bow.
It did, yes. I was happy with that. That'll do.
Season 1 of the D20 Future Show, which will be available on our server not very long because we are too cheap to pay for the extra storage. So if you want to listen to it, I'd download it now. In fact, it may not even be available by the time you get to listen to this, dear listener. But we moved on to Season 2. And Season 2 was different setting, different characters.
Same universe.
Same universe, at least in theory, but a long time into the future, so no guarantee that the one... in fact, we know it's the same universe because...
Simon Edwards?
Simon Edwards' autobiography, yes. Alid is still reading. Yes, I'd forgotten that. You were 4 university friends who were going on an adventure together. If I remember rightly, you had booked all the tickets, you'd made all the plans.
Yes.
With a kind of ulterior motive that hasn't really come out yet in the show.
Something about building
a secret
robots,
agenda that has been driving your character as purposeful from every scene.
Something like running a business.
You wanted to set up a business. You were going to ask your friends to set up a business together, making luxury starliners. That was the plan.
So I've done relatively.
You've sort of, you've succeeded insofar as that you've drawn all the people together to work in a company
for
you.
I've got a business.
Yep.
And I have...
That's totally legal.
100%. I'm aware of everything to do with businesses, and it's completely legit.
It's completely legit, and not a dodgy shell company for your friend of mine, Jason Hummels, who is my favourite NPC to play.
Oh, I imagine.
So you are Henry Stark.
Yes.
And he's a smart character.
Yes, he is. Yes.
So tell me a bit about Henry Stark, the smart character that you now play.
Well, it's very different to John. That was a
Yes.
very, very striking difference. I still try and play him in my way. I'm evidently not a very good actor or anything. I've become very aware of my inabilities as an actor.
Right.
I just played the same character, just
with different stats.
With different stats, basically.
Yeah.
Yes. I should probably try and be a bit more of an actor and
I think
that. But
I think you may be putting yourself down insofar as you have very much taken charge. You've become the head of the team.
In a void, yes,
in a way that Alex was he was appointed as the senior of the squad last time,
yes,
and he took control and saw it as his job to try and get the job done. Whereas both you and Alid saw it as your job to not necessarily get the job done if that was less fun than what you were supposed to be doing. You very much moved towards getting the job done was the thing to do, and you are now so you're now the head of the company because no one else said anything for a bit, and you thought, well, I'd better say something, and now you are head of Stark Defences, which is totally a thing.
Thank you for saying. I was going to say Stark Industries. So
Stark Industries.
My own company's name
is a different thing. You should not, listeners. You should not confuse Stark Industries and Stark Defences. They are legally totally separate, so that Disney doesn't sue us, because we could not survive Disney suing us. Yeah. We would not last. If Disney were to sue us, we would lose all our houses and things. So let's.
I don't even have one. And I'd lose
it. And you'd lose it. So you would never ever have a house. That's how bad it would be. So let's make it very clear that Stark Industries and Stark Defence are legally very different.
And very original as well.
So how is the way that Henry to play him is different from John? I guess you said, well, their personalities are quite similar in their sort of yours. If you didn't have to answer for any of your actions.
Yes, it's great.
But how is he different to play?
It's more. He's less able to do the physically stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Like backflipping out of a window and landing it perfectly and making you furious.
I was so annoyed. I was just getting ready to look up the fall damage, and you
nailed it.
Rolled a 20.
I'm so happy. But I'm more able to reprogram a drone to fight for me, which I imagine John wouldn't have been able to do. He wasn't a very bright chap.
No, I can't see John getting beyond the smashing it with a rock.
I'm able to do fun stuff, but different fun stuff. More sort of nerdy fun stuff rather than just I can jump out of a window and land it.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
And when it comes to combat, I guess you have to remember you don't have as many hit points anymore.
It was difficult at first.
Yeah.
Because I used to play just very gung-ho, run in, punch somebody, be able to dodge when I'm... Was there a point where I had my foot stuck through a door and a guy
and I think you still didn't
tried to punch me and he missed?
I absolutely remember that.
Yes. I couldn't do that as John because I would probably... As Henry? Because I'd just get punched in the face. And,
yes,
and it
that
wouldn't go well.
But on the whole, you're enjoying being Henry.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
I can do more fun stuff.
We have had a little bit of a break in podcast transmission. That is, I must hasten to add, not due to anybody else, because we've got plenty of audio in the can, but down to my real life sort of taking over. I am trying to sell and buy a house, and it turns out both of those things are really complicated. I hope we're back on track now. I have some episodes mixed down that just need some voiceover, and we will be able to, I hope, return to our full schedule. So, because it's been a little while, and you've had a chance to enjoy our heist adventures again, we thought we'd quickly catch you up with where we're up to in the plot, so you don't have to go and track back for 3-4 episodes worth of audio to work out what on earth is going on. Henry and the team are now installed as the official defence contractor for the DMC.
Yes.
You have mechs.
Yes.
In the previous episode, you were all drinking in O'Leary's Irish theme pub in the Rec Dome when there was a bang, the base was under attack. You leapt into action, except for Steve Jabs, who leapt to finish his drink.
Of course.
Priorities. There was a large mech attacking the base. You repelled the attacker. And then what happened?
We fought off the mechs that were coming to us. We did get shouted at for not being ready for that, which was to be expected. Did they not expect that by now? That we're not going to...
You should put a picket to protect the base.
Did not expect.
Doesn't seem a wholly unreasonable thing for you to do. I sort of realised you weren't doing it, and I thought, well, I'm definitely going to use that to punish them.
Of course we're not going to. We're never going to. It's fine. We should hire somebody to do it for us, I suppose. That might be a good idea. That's my job. I don't know why I'm saying we should. That's my job.
Yeah, I mean, you are the boss.
And we woke up to news of a murder, which is it's a bit of a concern, you know?
Yep.
Murderer. Scary. So we've been put in charge of investigating that.
Erika, one of the warehouse operators, was dead. She was found wearing only her jumpsuit and lingerie in the quality control lab, which is not where she should be. There are a number of suspects. So far in the previous episode, you have interviewed Ulrich, who has admitted to drinking on the job.
I remember.
But denies anything to do with the murder, and you have no evidence to connect him to it. I guess that sets it up for our listeners.
So that we'll call that it for this Intrasode, do you think, Richard?
I think so. So all that remains for us to do is to tell the listeners how they can get hold of us.
Yes.
The first place would be on Twitter at D20 Future Show.
You could also go to facebook.com/D20 Future.
Or we very excitingly have a WordPress blog now, which currently has not a lot on it, but hopefully more content will reach you before this podcast goes out. You can find that at www.d20futureshow.wordpress.com.
You can also get us on soundcloud.com/D20future-show. We're also on Stitcher and iTunes if you want to catch us on that.
Okay, thanks very much for listening. We'll
Thank
catch you next time on the D20 Future Show.
Bye.
And you will have played Elder Scrolls...
Come again?
You will have played Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
Could you say Skyrim? It's fine.
Okay, yes. It just leaves us to remind us... it remains for us to remind...
Do you want me to try it?
Yeah, you have a go.
Do you want me to try it? So that's all for this... It's difficult.
It is difficult. Once it's recording,
to talk
it's
to
hard.
a microphone, it's really difficult.